Hey guys, welcome back to the DrCliffAuD vlog. This is vlog number 86, and I'm sorry that I missed last week. Like I said, it was Labor Day weekend, and Ashley and I were going out of town. There was actually a little bit of a hiccup with going out of town. I'll explain that here in a minute. But if you guys are glad that I'm back here doing a vlog this weekend, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. It really helps me out. It helps make sure that these videos get in front of a broader audience. That being said, there is a lot of stuff I want to unpack today that has a lot to do with the consultant that we had come in and just some staff transitioning that we've had here in the last couple of weeks. So let me go right back to the beginning here. For those of you who've not watched the previous vlog where I talked about us bringing in a consultant, we decided to bring in a consultant to help us make the clinic better, both from a treatment perspective and a front of house, patient experience perspective. And so far, I think it's actually going really well. But it has a lot to do with some of the transitioning that we've had with our staff members here recently. So to go back, I don't know, maybe a couple months at this point, we decided that we had to bring in another audiology assistant because our audiology assistant that I've had is actually going back to grad school to become an audiologist. So I'm super happy for her, but it didn't change the fact that we had to bring someone in to help me out in the clinic and to help really the entire clinic out. And that's actually been going really well. This new audiology assistant is really sharp. She has her undergraduate degree in psychology, so a very intelligent individual and very motivated and driven. And I think that she's also going to want to go in and get her doctorate in audiology as well. So I might be in the same position a year from now. But, so we had my audiology assistant go back to school. She's now part-time, so she's still with the clinic. But right around the same time that she was transitioning to go and do school more than she was work, we had one of our front office receptionists, front office, what do we call them? Patient care coordinators. And she was part-time, but she decided she has some other cool stuff going on in her life from a work perspective and coaching perspective. And so she basically turned in her 2 weeks notice like a month and a half ago, something like that. She's been sticking on to kind of help us transition through it. But we wish her the best. This is going to be her last week. I think she just finished up her last week at our clinic on her part-time basis. So in order to replace her, we actually decided to hire one of the applicants that we interviewed for the audiology assistant position, someone who's interested in the profession of audiology, and we decided to actually extend her an offer to replace our patient care coordinator who decided to leave. And her first week was 2 weeks ago. And I'll get into that here a little bit more. We also had our other long-term patient care coordinator at the front desk put in her 2 weeks about 3 weeks ago or so. And so she has been in this process of transitioning out, leaving the clinic. And so we actually had the new front office individual kind of like hired on a full-time basis, basically, to replace two individuals with one individual, which I have some hesitations with, but it seemed like it was all going to work out. And so I'll just kind of get right to it. The other aspect of the transition in the clinic is that our office manager has decided to leave. And so she ended up leaving without giving notice, so we're really short-handed. It was a very tricky week a couple weeks ago leading into the Labor Day weekend, and it actually caused Ashley and I not to go out of town on Friday. We ended up going out of town on Saturday instead, for Saturday and Sunday, coming back for Monday. And definitely a shock, and I think a lot of it was because of the transitioning that we're going through inside of the clinic with our new consultant. Basically, things are changing. We want to make sure that individuals are adhering to what these changes are ultimately going to be, and people can either be on board with these changes for the better, or they can not be on board and choose to go on and do bigger and better things with whatever they have going on in their lives. And so while it's unfortunate, while I'm not happy at all that our office manager decided that she didn't want to be a part of of these changes that we were going to do inside of the clinic. I do wish her the best, and so Ashley and I have to essentially fill that position as well. But on the same day that we found out that our office manager was leaving with no notice, our new hire for the front desk decided that she no longer wanted to continue on. So she was there for basically 3 days and was like, yep, I've decided to switch majors away from audiology or speech and hearing sciences into business, and I found another job that more like corresponds with that, and so I can't finish out the rest of the week even. I'm like, okay, so here we are. We have one front office individual who'd put in her notice, who'd been sticking around for a little while, who's going to be basically gone. We have the other front office individual who put in her 2 weeks, so she's basically gone. And then the person that we hired to bring in to replace her is now gone. And then the office manager that we would use in the interim to help us out is now gone. So that really created an interesting dynamic and had prevented Ashley and I from going out of town. That being said, there is some good news with all of this. So the second front office individual that we have on staff, we actually called her and asked her if she could come back. Basically, I don't know if you want to call it begging, whatever you want to call it. We really needed her help. So we actually extended out and said, hey, listen, we loved you at the clinic. I mean, we continue to enjoy having you be at the clinic. Would you please come back? Here's the situation. No office manager, no one to work the front desk, basically. And so she graciously decided to come back and help us out. In the meantime, we are starting to put out, not applications, but we're actually putting out listings to try to get another front office individual, patient care coordinator, to come in and work along with this individual. And I'm hoping that the individual who had originally quit, who's our long-term employee, I hope she decides to stay for a long time, like forever, to be honest with you. And so we're looking to hire another part-time front office staff individual. And so far we have a lot of what appears to be really good applicants applying for this position, people who've been in the medical profession from a receptionist aspect for a long time, or just customer service in general, and individuals who sounded really, really good, both from a resume perspective and on the phone interview questions. So super psyched about that. And we're going to be very slow and methodical about hiring another front office manager, or office manager, I guess I should say. And I don't know how that's going to go yet. We haven't actually put out an ad for a front or for a office manager yet, but it's going to be some pretty high expectations from an office manager perspective, and I actually feel really confident about it because the consultant is working a lot with Ashley and I to find out, who we think would be a perfect fit and why, and to make sure that we actually get that individual hired. A lot of the stuff that we do inside the clinic is going to go through the office manager. They're basically going to be the linchpin for us to make sure that everything is functioning the way that we want it to inside of the clinic. And, the other part of this is that, we want someone who is on board with our vision. And this gives us the opportunity to kind of start fresh and find someone who really likes to work with both myself and Ashley to make sure that we're serving our patients the best way we possibly can, and to drive us into, this a better level of experience for our patients. And I think it can be done, and I think that it can be done relatively quickly as long as we're very methodical about who we hire and how we train that individual, and the system changes that we have inside of the clinic. I should also say that my previous audiology assistant, who's still technically an audiology assistant, who's going back to school, she's agreed to come back and help out in the front desk on certain days of the week in between her school schedule. So I think for her, it's going to work out. She gets some extra hours in the clinic to help, provide for herself as she goes through her audiology program. And then we win because she's a fantastic employee, to be honest with you. She's really good with working with patients. She's really knowledgeable and understanding, having worked with me for quite some time now. She can handle a lot of stuff on her own, whether it's Bluetooth troubleshooting or whatever on the phone, and she's very good at getting people scheduled as well. So I really, at this point, I actually feel really good. This could have been a really, really bad thing that happened with all the different transition, but I think that we're going to get the right key players, and we've been able to kind of get, you know, some extended help from individuals who were going to be leaving the clinic anyway. I think we're probably going to ask the other individual who's been kind of lingering to help us out. I think that we're going to ask her to maybe on a part-time, not part-time basis, but like on a PRN basis, like an as-needed basis, to come in and help us out a little bit more as well as we train a new front office individual. I just love our staff, the staff that is still with us, the staff that has left us. I mean, they're just good people. And, you know, we're a small business, like we're a family-owned business. We're not some, you know, franchise that, you know, we just follow some system that doesn't put the patient first. We're actually and not that there's anything wrong with franchises or anything like that, but you know, we're like a mom and pop type shop, right? I mean, I'm the audiologist. We have another audiologist who works alongside me. We have a couple of assistants. We have, you know, part-time individuals working the front. We've got my wife Ashley in there being kind of like the clinic administrator, and you know, it's not a big show. You know, it's like, we have 2,600 source, not even 20, is it 2,600 square feet? I forget how many square foot we have, but it's not like we're running this huge company. It is a small mom and pop production, and we just want it to function as well as it possibly can to serve our patients the best it possibly can and keep a really high level of consistent quality care. So a lot of stuff that has gone on over the past couple of weeks. I hope this made sense, kind of explaining like who's coming and who's going and all of that. It's definitely going to get more interesting as the weeks go by with bringing on new staff members and getting us through this transition with our consultant. But I look forward to it. I'm the type of person who I'm okay with change. I like new things. I get excited by new things. It's part of the reason why I am always, you know, dabbling in different types of sports and activities, is because I just get interested by so much, and I get bored if I just kind of, you know, do the same thing over and over. So anytime that there's some new challenge that's being presented, I thrive under that. So really excited for that. And I'm really excited to continue to share our experience with you as being, you know, private practice owners, because there's no dull moment apparently when you own a practice for yourself, and that's kind of exciting. So I'm going to keep sharing these updates with you guys. If of course you like these videos, go ahead and give them a thumbs up, and as always, I'll see you next week.